Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of 2 Minute Gyan. You might be wondering why there are three of us instead of one face as on our other videos. The trigger point for today's discussion is the event on social media that Jira has launched a new feature that allows people to add story points in decimal places. This triggered even a discussion between us, and we felt that we should get together and exchange our views about it. So let's start.
Thanks, Ayan. Personally, for me as Agile coach, this is very disappointing move. And then I start thinking why we are going or why Jira is going in this direction. And I think many people misunderstand or still not able to understand why we use Fibonacci series. I will try to summarize why we do Fibonacci series in probably just 2 sentences. First, use in story point, actually we don't just estimate efforts like how much time it will take. Rather, along with the volume of work, we estimate complexity and we estimate uncertainty. And in the whole estimation of efforts, complexity plays the most important role. That's the first part. Now, if you look at complexity, how you can give numbers to complexity. It can never be like 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. It never goes in linear line. One unknown, your complexity goes like multifold. Second unknown, it's always going to spiral. So when we start to look for a story point, we actually have to look back to the math and look for some good equation for complexity. And it must be non-linear number. And that's why Fibonacci number. It's like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. And even after 13, it's no longer Fibonacci number because there is no fun, there is no point estimating a super complex item. You simply go 20, 40, 100 to say that it's complex, it's very complex, it's very, very complex. So if we are measuring complexity, where did precision come? It's about this different levels.
And it's about relative estimation between the stories themselves as well. It's not about, there is no way you can say one story is say 2.57 points and another is 2.62 points. There is no, you'll have to bring in another unit of measurement if you have to do that. And then it defeats the whole purpose of having a simple thing like, story points estimation. In fact, even if you don't do Fibonacci, even if you consider a t-shirt sizing, the whole idea is to group stories into buckets. And the buckets by themselves indicate a range. So how can you get precise if there is already a range?
First thing is it might be because cost of what their current customer base is demanding. So if they are getting a multiple request like, hey, we have already implemented or we have developed culture in our organization where we estimate in the fractional or a decimal point as a story point, and they have gone to Atlassian, in that case, they might have come up with it. But now there is a moral responsibility of understanding the concept and ethically abiding to that concept. That part I don't agree with. They should not give a story point as a name for that term. They can come up with a different terminology. Now this aspect, I agree, it will lead to anti-patterns in the organization. But I feel like Atlassian being a tool, it's not their responsibility. Whereas Agile coaches and the leadership of that organization, they should actually carry. So rather than carrying culture development from a tool side or a tool developing a culture in your organization, it should be organization leaders should push that culture into the organization. That part I feel it should be vital aspect.
No, Vijay, you're right. You are right in the understanding the context from Atlassian that they are looking at their customer. And they wanted to be customer centric. But I believe a reputed company like Atlassian, and we all Agilists love Atlassian, a reputed company like Atlassian have responsibility beyond just making their customer happy. It's also about ensuring we and people, users, stick to Agile principles and values.
And I will say, even if they are customer centric, right? Maybe it's the wrong sample set they have chosen. If there is some user research that is showing that people need this estimate to be in decimals, maybe it's the wrong sample set. Because I'm sure that with passionate Agilists, there will be enough who would say that it's it's not a good feature to have. And in fact, it will encourage an anti-pattern. And like Vivek rightly said, a company like Atlassian, which has literally millions of users, there is a moral responsibility to firstly ensure that with a user base this wide, the sample set is good enough, sample set is accurate enough, and they do what is right. And that is actually the real customer centricity. What we are saying is that even, customers who are demanding this feature, right, it is clear that the concept is not well understood in their organization.
Yes.
That is where it becomes the responsibility of the product company who is building that tool to make sure that
Exactly.
People are asking for something wrong, we don't supply it.
So it should be two ways. First thing, a core problem statement, they should start healing at that level for a cultural transformation, and then they should, a tool also should take care of it at the second level. That's what my opinion falls into.
Coming back to the central point where Vivek started, I think now we can tie the pieces together. What Vivek started with is, what are story point estimation, why are they in Fibonacci series, and why that is how, that's a good way to do it. And Vijay, like you also said, that's where the organization should start from. That is where the culture should start transforming from. So basically what we are kind of agreeing, the overlap between what all of us are saying is that there is a good way of using story points and estimations, and there is not a good way. I'm not saying there is only one good way, but what we discussed as say Fibonacci series is definitely a good way, and using decimals is definitely not a good way. So what we agree on is that understanding the concepts of story points and why Fibonacci series or t-shirt sizing is helpful should be understood by everybody, and then the dependence on tool will reduce.
Yeah.
Very good point, Sahil, and very good point, Vijay. And I think it's really come up very well that people need to understand core concept, and then the responsibility of coaches is even more to take care of such misguided approach or step taken by some reputed tool like Jira. So this is what the coaches and Agilists and product owner think in the community of Agile Beyond Boundary. I hope this video, Dis2MG, helps you. We would still like to hear more from you, so don't forget to comment and of course subscribe our video. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.